First and foremost, before I start this video, if you are my grandparents, if you're my mom, if you're any of my uncles or my aunts, click out of this video because this is not for you. I already know how worried you guys are going to be, and I don't want to scare you by you watching this video. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, sincerely, Ashley F. I am back. I'm so sorry, guys. I know I have been MIA, but guess what, y'all? I got a reason, okay? If there's one thing about me, I always got a reason, all right? So, I'm happy to be back, you guys. You guys have no idea how daunting it has been to not post on my channel because you guys know how much I love this, and let's just get into it, okay? So I want you guys to know that, yes, I have not posted in a few weeks. I'm pretty much going to give you guys an update of what's been pretty much going on with my life. And of course, as you already know by the title of this video and the real reason why you guys clicked into it, I'm going to be talking about the one time how I literally almost got murdered in my own apartment complex. Yes. Yeah. So before we get into that story, I do want to give you guys a quick update. So for the past few weeks, I have been recovering from a foot injury and shoulders. Yes, plural, shoulders injury. So pretty much my foot injury started from a workout. So that's where I got my foot injury, from a workout that I was doing. And then it was so weird. It slowly, gradually like started moving upwards in my body. And I don't know, it was just like, it went from like my thigh and then to my shoulder, like my arms. And it was just so weird. And guys, I was scared. I'm not even gonna front. Your girl was scared because I was like, oh hell no, like what the fuck is going on with me? Like these can't be the same shoulders I was leaning and rock withing. These ain't the goddamn freaking fucking knees and thighs I was getting down to pop locking and dropping it to. Like, no, like what is going on with the world? Like, damn, am I getting old? Oh my god, I think I'm getting old, you guys. Like, I don't know what's going on with me. It's okay though, it's really not. But anyway, so yes, that's what had been going on with me lately. And so basically what had happened was, again, it started with my foot injury. I went to the hospital on exactly March 12th. March 12th is when I went to the hospital, and it took like about a few weeks for me to heal. And then when I did finally heal, my cousin and her fiance came to Georgia, to Atlanta, to pretty much celebrate his birthday weekend out here with his friends. So he's originally from Georgia, and so pretty much, you know, they came or whatever, and we celebrated his birthday, and it was a lot of fun. And so that's what we did. And that was, I want to say, 2 weekends ago. So after that, I spent the entire week and then this past weekend stressing and working on something that I am praying to the universe, to God and my ancestors to bless me with later this month. I'm not going to tell you guys exactly what it is because, as you guys already know, I'm a very private person until I don't want to be. So I'll tell you guys exactly what it is. But I'm a firm believer that if you tell people, you know, about your blessings before they actually happen, they may not actually happen. So if it does happen, you guys will know, because yeah, I will let you know later this month. Okay, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Two things. Actually, now that I think about it, two major things will happen later this month, if God and the universe allows it to. So another thing, you guys, I once again am so happy to be back at it again, because you have, again, no idea how just like lonely it's been, like, for me, like, to not be posting and interacting with y'all. And then of course also, like, you know, I have to be on bed rest because for the few weeks that, you know, since March 12th, obviously, up until, you know, the few weeks after that, I had been on bed rest trying to recover. And when I tell you guys, it was the most painful, excruciating pain you can think of. I would literally wake up out of my sleep That's how much the pain like hurt. Like it's horrible. It was so freaking horrible. So anyway, you don't even understand. I did everything in the book. I did lidocaine patches. I did freaking Bengay. I did I even bought like those universal like shoulder things that you put on, like kind of like a cast, but like not really. So like I did those. I obviously went to the hospital. They obviously did x-rays. No bones are broken, so thank God. But you know, whatever. They gave me medication, so again, I had to be on bed rest, right? Now, I don't really believe, like, not that I don't believe in medication, because obviously, like, you know, I've taken them before in the past and they have helped. But now that I've, you know, embarked on my journey of spirituality, I rather do things the natural way to pretty much get better on health, I guess I would say, like to better my health, to keep my health sane and all of that. I rather go more of the natural way. So I want to say maybe after like a week and a half of me like taking the medication that the doctor prescribed to me, I decided to reach out to one of my spiritual friends. So Trop, if you're watching this one's for you. Went ahead and called on to one of our spiritual deities, Dambala Wero. So if you guys don't know who Dambala Wero is, do your research on him. He's pretty much like the god of your health. So anything that has to do with like you getting better with your health, or if you're sick and you're seeking to get better, that is the person that, you know, you will call on to. All right. He is, you know, the God that you will call on to in order to get better. And so, of course, with the help of one of my spiritual friends, we got there. So thank you so much, Trop. I did get a lot better because of that. So I went from taking my medication twice a day to taking it once a day to pretty much skipping every other day. So I'm literally getting way better at it, or getting better at my health. I'm able to move around, obviously, and post videos and all of that. So yeah, you guys, man, like, I was on bed rest for a few weeks and I was just like out of it. Like it really did suck for a little bit because, you know, I got out of touch with, because you guys know, if you guys have been, you know, subscribed to my channel since the beginning, or if you guys have been there since the beginning watching my videos, you guys know that I have a specific area to where I love to meditate. And I couldn't do that for a while. I had to kind of like do my prayer or my meditation on my bed. And although that's not bad, because it's the intention that matters, right? It still, you know, it still sucked a little bit because I was in my little routine. So I was talking to, and again, you can thank my grandparents, my mom, my brother for this video today, because when I tell you, I'm tired, guys. Like I'm tired. Today is a very tiring day. I couldn't really sleep that much last night. Because I've been dealing with this thing that I'm like praying to God comes later this month. And yeah, I just couldn't really sleep last night. And so I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. I was talking to my grandma or grandparents, because I called my grandma, but obviously eventually I was talking to my grandpa and my grandma. And it's just such a if there's one thing you guys need to know about me, my three biggest motivators in life are my grandparents, my mom, and my brother. Them three are literally the reason why, and of course, you know, myself, but them three are like the reason why I pretty much like, you know, am motivated to do well in life, because I care so much about how proud they are of me. And so it made me feel so good inside, you know, to hear my grandma's voice and my grandfather's voice and hear them telling me like, you know, all we do is say nice things about you, Ashley. And like, it makes me so emotional because again, like, you guys know, and if you don't know, you know now, me having them be so proud of me is really like a goal of mine. And it always has been a goal of mine, right? My grandparents had a hand in raising me. So they're kind of like my parents too, in a way. And so just hearing their voice, like, you know, motivated me, because again, like, you know, just being by myself at home trying to recover and being on bed rest, like I felt a little lonely, and I wanted like that family love, you know what I mean? So whenever I need that, I go straight to them. And so yeah, I was talking to her, and then my mom, you guys, like one thing about my mom that I want you guys to know about too is like, when I come to my mom about like my feelings, like if I talk to her about my feelings, or if I talk to her about like how my day is going and I'm not really having like an amazing day, like I'm having like a pretty down day, her advice is like so hilarious. Okay, like again, you guys can thank my grandparents, my mom, and my brother for this video today, because my mom is hilarious. Like I was talking to her earlier today and I was just telling her, like, Mom, I'm just tired or whatever. Like last night I couldn't really sleep. And I was just telling her, and she knows why. She knows about what's happening later this month. And all this other stuff. And she was like, the type of advice that my mom gives, and I don't know if she's like that with everybody, but she's certainly like that with me. She gives advice like a best friend. Like she's obviously a mom, so she's gonna tell me like how it is, right? But she also like is like a best friend to me. So she's always like, girl, like you're young, like what are you doing? Like why are you stressing about this? You don't gotta put up with that. If you wanna go on vacation, if you wanna travel, go do that. Like who cares? Like she literally gives me like that warrior queen type of fucking like motivation, if that makes sense. Like she's so independent that I literally get my independence from her. So it's like, it's just so funny. And she deadass really did like motivated me today or whatever. And my brother, oh my God, yo, I wish you guys could listen into the conversations that me and my brother have, because every motivational conversation, and I'm gonna keep it real with you, like the only types of conversations that me and my brother have are motivational. We're not the type of siblings to have like emotional conversations. Like that's just not really the type of relationship that me and my brother have. We don't really do those emotional talks. We do more like motivational intense talks. Like that's just the type of sibling relationship that me and my brother have. And I don't mind it, because it's literally like, it's just so funny. Like I said, I wish you guys could listen in, because it's so intense. Like every other word is a curse word. That's number one. But not in a bad way. And, everything is about like remembering who the fuck you are. Like that's literally our conversation. Is like, yo, like Ash, like the way my brother talks to me is like, yo, Ash, like, us, like the shit that, we had to go through, the stuff that we had to do, and so fuck that and fuck this and get that shit together. And like, if I ever want to have remind who the fuck you are type of person motivational conversation, I'm gonna definitely go to my brother. Like it's just so funny how my grandparents, my mom, my brother motivate me and inspire me in different ways, and I just love it. And so I just want to, if you guys are watching this, even though I said for my grandparents and my mom not to watch it, but if y'all are watching this, mommy, abuelo, I love you guys so much, and thank you for always praying for me, and thank you for always being there for me and giving me the motivation and inspiration to keep going, especially living 11 to 12 hours away where I don't get to have, that family love surrounding me. You guys definitely reassure me. But yeah, you guys. So, now let's get into the story about how I almost got murdered. All right. So this one was this one was scary. I'm not even gonna lie. This was scary. And before I get started with it, I do want you guys to know, like, guns don't scare me. Like guns, they don't scare me. Growing up, I have seen things that no child, not even a teenager should see. I've grown up seeing things that you should only see in your adult years. And even then, you shouldn't even have to go through anything like that. Like I've seen a lot, okay? I had to mature at a very young age. So none of this, like when it comes to guns or drugs or anything like that, none of that is new to me. None of that affects, not affects me in a way where it's like I don't feel any type of way towards it. But what I mean by it is, like, by me just being like around that type of stuff or anything like that, it doesn't scare me, because like I said, like I've, if if you grew up where I grew up, you feel me? Like shit, you see shit, right? You just see shit. And so with that being said, like I said, guns, I've seen that. I've seen one of my family members have a gun. I've seen where they've kept it. I've seen all of that. So trust me when I say it doesn't bother me the slightest bit. At the age of 12, I don't remember if it was 12 or 13 years old. I remember being over my aunt's house and somebody pulling a trigger in front of me at this, not at any one of us, but at the sky, like up at the sky, because there was like a fight that happened that unraveled out in my family's front porch. And it was just like a whole thing. And like, they literally shot a gun up in the air because they wanted it to end. Like, they wanted the fight to end. So trust me when I say none of that shit scares me. None of it. As sad as it sounds, it just doesn't, because I've seen it all. Right. And so with that being said, it's not that scares me. Okay. It's the circumstances that scare me. Notice the difference. So, you know, being around my family at the age of 12 and 13 and having that gun get fired in front of me, that didn't scare me, because again, I knew the circumstance that I was in. I was around my family. Nobody's going to let anything happen to me. That person that shot the gun in the air was a friend of my family. So we already knew that situation was different, right? It doesn't scare me, right? I have friends, again, that have guns. And I've seen it. I know where they keep it. So again, like, none of that stuff scares me, right? Those are circumstances that don't scare me. Now, this situation is a little different. And just thinking about it is like making me shake all over again. Like, it's crazy because it's like now when I think about it, like, I don't want to say it's a funny situation, because it definitely isn't, but I will say that I did laugh the next day, because honestly, I don't even know why I laughed. I guess it's because, like, let me just get into it. So pretty much, I was having like one of those nights where I kind of just wanted to be alone, and I went to go get food, and I came back to my apartment complex, and I ended up eating the food in my car. Okay. So, I got the food, I came back to my car, and I started eating. Right. And just to let you guys know, this is going to be a very long video. So get your popcorns ready, get your goddamn sodas ready, get your snacks ready, because it's going to be a long ass video. So, yeah. So pretty much, like, I went to go get dinner. I ate my dinner. And so just to give you guys a quick reminder, right? The way my apartment complex works is, like, it's a gated community, right? So you can't come in unless you live there or somebody buzzes you in. Okay. It's a gated community. I mean, there's like 3 different types of security, not security as far as like security guards, but well, we do have a security guard that does patrol at night, but we have like 3 different security authentication, or whatever you want to call it, in order for you to get through to even get into the hallways of our apartment complex. So I came in, I buzzed myself in, I stood in my car in the garage, and I ate my food. After I got done eating my food, I got out of the car, right? And I noticed that somebody had gone into the elevator before me, right? So somebody got into the elevator before me, and so the elevator doors were still open, right? You know how like elevator doors, like they stay open for like a few seconds and then they close or whatever. And so I was able to catch up to it, and I ended up getting in. And when I got in, it was normal, right? Just a guy, right? He was in the corner of the elevator. So the way it was set up is he was in the back left corner. I was in the front right corner, because remember, he got into the elevator before me. So he got into the back left corner of the elevator. I got into the front right. Okay. So with that being said, there's like these little, like, because of like COVID or whatever, they have like these little things on the floor of the elevator where like, it tells you like where to stand in order to be a certain feet away from someone. So pretty much, I got in there, whatever, and I stood furthest away from him, and I noticed that we were both going to the same floor, right? So we were both going into the same floor, and I get out before him, obviously, because I was closer to the door. You guys, like, literally, like, the hair on my arms are like freaking, I don't know if you can see it, but they're dead ass legs. I'm over it now because I know that I'm safe. But dude, like, that's definitely something I'm never gonna forget. So anyway, I get out of the elevator before him, right? And pretty much I'm walking in front of him, and I kid you not, you guys, I kid you not even like 10 seconds later, all I hear is pop, right? And you know, like that feeling where you know exactly what's going on, but you don't want to believe it, because it's like one of those things where like you know what's happening, but you don't want to believe what's happening until you see it with your own two eyes, right? So it's like that brief moment right before you're about to witness exactly what you already know is happening, right? So I dead ass turned around, and again, I already knew that a gun went off. I like I said, you guys, I'm not new to this, right? I already knew that that's what happened. I dead ass turned around, and all I can see is a guy wearing a hoodie and a gun right next to him, right in his hand, on his right side. Me and him are the only two people in the freaking hallway. Sir, what the fuck are you even trying to do? The only thing that I thought in my mind was, this guy's trying to murder me. He's trying to rob me and murder me. I swear to you, I booked it down that hallway. I booked it down that hallway, yo. I deadass was like, help! Like, I was literally screaming like help, like throughout the whole, I was screaming help and screaming, please don't kill me, from the moment that I turned around and saw him with that gun to the time I hit the door. And when I got to my apartment, I slammed the door behind me, and I have, first of all, I have two locks on my door. I have the one lock where it's like the regular lock, and then I have like that lock that like you put over your door so that if somebody tries to like open it, they can only open it to a certain extent. I forget how, like, it's like a latch that I forget how to call it. But anyway, so, bro, like, I literally, like, I deadass thought the worst, you guys. I deadass thought that I was gonna be like the next victim on fucking Investigation Discovery. Like, the shit was just like, it was so surreal. Like, I've never came that close to death ever. I mean, well, okay, I take that back. I have been close to death before, but this one is one that like felt like so surreal, because it felt more like something that you would see in a movie. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it was like one of those types of things. And so I deadass was like, yo, I ran inside the house. All right, you guys, I ran inside the house, and I went into my bedroom. I opened up my bedroom door, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, there's a guy out there. I was like, he's trying to freaking kill me. I was like, he dead ass shot a gun and da-da-da. And then G's like, that's what that was? And I was like, yeah. He was like, bro, he was like, I dead ass did not know what that was. And I was like, he's out there, da-da-da. He was like, what the fuck? So like, he's literally like running out of like our bedroom, and he's opening, like, he opens our front door, and he's like looking like both sides of the hallway, and he's like, where is he? Like, where did he go? Did you see where he went? And I was like, no. And he was like, what the fuck? He was like, what did he look like? Da-da-da. So at this point, G's mad, because at this point he's like, oh hell no, like, who the fuck was that? Like, what the fuck? Like, so he's trying to figure out who the hell that guy is. He's trying to figure out who he is, like where he went. And I'm over here like, I don't know, because dead ass, I really don't know where he went, you guys. Like, as soon as I turned around and saw that he had a gun in his hand, and me and him once again were the only two people in the hallway, I was not taking my chances. I don't give a fuck. I was not worried about where he was headed. I was not worried about nothing that he was saying either. I was just like booking it. And G was like looking out or whatever, and then he finally like closed the front door, and he's trying to calm me down, right? He's trying to calm me down. He's trying to tell me like, like, just tell me what happened. Like what do you mean he pulled out a gun? Like, what? So he's over here trying to calm me down while I'm crying, like literally bawling my eyes out, because I don't know what the fuck just like was about to transpire or what just happened. And he's over here like, and as he's doing that, as he's trying to calm me down, sorry guys, I got distracted because I just saw somebody walk by. But anyway, so as he's trying to like calm me down, literally like our neighbors are coming out of their apartments and they're like talking to each other, and I can hear them talking about like, yo, like what was that, like was that a gunshot, like I heard a girl screaming down the hall and and immediately I know that they're talking about me. So I'm like, we have to go out there. I was like, we have to go out there, we have to tell them that it was me that was yelling, because we can hear them talking, right? So we open the door and we see our neighbors, and I tell my neighbors that it was me. And then the lady that was down the hallway to my left, she was like, that was you? She was like, what happened? Like, are you okay? And And I told them everything that happened and this and a third. And the guy, so across from me is like this Asian guy, like across like the hallway from where like I live. It's like an Asian guy that lives to like the right side across the hallway, and then a veteran that lives to the left side across the hallway, right? So they're both like asking me like, they both were like, well, what did he say? Like, what did he do or whatever? So I told him what he said, and they were just like, that's bullshit. And like this and the third, like, you need to call the cops and like all this like extra stuff, right? So I'm just like, oh my God, like what the hell, right? So I'm like, okay. I gotta call the cops now, because number one, like, even if like, not to say that I didn't want to call the cops, but the thing is, even if I didn't, right, my neighbors already know, like they heard it, I was screaming, and I wanted myself to be heard for the simple fact that, bitch, like, I literally thought I was gonna get killed. Like, what the fuck was this guy thinking? Number one, we live in an apartment complex that has high security. You don't need to, like, why would you even have a gun on you like that? And number one, why would you not? Let me just finish what I was about to tell you guys, right? So I call the cops, right? And I'm talking to them on the phone, and I'm telling them where I live. I give them my address. I tell them my first and last name. I tell them what apartment number I'm in. I tell them the description of the guy, like all that, right? So as I'm talking to the 911 operator, G hears these guys like walking down the hallway. Our door is closed at this time, right? Our door is closed. We already talked to our neighbors. We closed the door. I'm on the phone with the 911 operator. And G hears like guys like talking in the hallway and walking down the hallway. So he looks through like our little peephole, like, you know how like we had a little peephole on our door. So he looks through it, and he's like, come here. He's like, or whatever. And I'm just like, what? And he opens the door, and he sees that there are 3 guys that are down the hallway next to the elevator, and they're looking for something on the floor, right? So G's like, come here. And I'm like, all right. So I'm over here like trying to talk to the 911 operator at the same time, like trying to see what G wants or whatever. And he's just like, is it one of those guys? Was it one of them? Was it one of them? Granted, the guy that I saw, right, he had like, I'm not going to give out his description, but he just had 2 distinctive things on him, right, that I recall. And pretty much I'm going to put a picture of what the guy looked like. So anyway, what was I saying? So he's like, is it that guy right there? And you know what? I'm just going to say it. He had a hoodie on, right? He had a hoodie on, and he had on white sneakers, right? So pretty much I was just like, what the hell? I was like, no, that's not him, because the 3 guys that were down the hallway when G opened the door, none of them were wearing a hoodie. So I told him no, because none of them were wearing a hoodie. So the guy that I saw was wearing a hoodie. He was not wearing one. So pretty much I was just like, no. I was like, that's not, none of them are him, right? So he let it go and he closed the door. Next thing you know, not even like 5 seconds later, we get a knock at our door. And sure enough, it's the guy that almost fucking killed me. And we're literally face to face with the person that pulled that trigger behind me not even 10 minutes ago at that point. And he's over here like scared as fuck. When I mean scared, He is scared as fuck. He's literally apologizing, pretty much begging, like apologizing and saying how sorry he is. Granted, it's me and G, right? And there's 3 guys at the door. And all of them, including the guy that shot the gun behind me, was like, yo, like, we're so sorry. Like, we did not mean to do that. We see how scared she is. I swear, like, I was not trying to do nothing to her. I was not trying to harm her. I was not doing nothing. Like, bro, like, swear to God, like, my shit just went off by accident and da-da-da. Like, he even went as far as pulling down his pants and showing us where the bullet went through his boxers and all that, just so he can prove that he was not, like, it was by accident. Like, it was crazy, you guys. Like, he was like pleading, like, please, like, you know, don't call the cops. He was like, we don't need that type of problem or whatever. Like, you know, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do none of that. Like, it was by accident and da-da-da. So G's over here like grilling him because, yeah, even though, you know, he showed face and apologized, at the end of the day, bro, like you still could have killed me, right? Like, you still could have killed me. And he was just like, oh, like, G was like pretty much grilling him. Like, he was like, yo, like you gotta fucking watch out, bro. Like, this is like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just be doing that. And like this and the third, like, and pretty much like, telling him like, you know, be careful next time. Like, you should have like one of those, what do you call those? Like little safety things that the guns be having on them. He's like, you should have like a safety shit on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you live in a, like, right now you're in an apartment complex that you have like parents that live here, my guy. You have teenagers, children, babies that live in this apartment complex. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, including my girl. Like, he literally just said like that. Like, this is my girl. He's like, you need to be fucking careful. Like, she's over here running in here and telling me that somebody's trying to shoot her. I'm not going to take that lightly. So he's over here like grilling him and like doing all this extra stuff. And he's still like apologizing, like still going in and like all this other stuff. And he's like, and I guess like it came to the point where G was just like, why are you even carrying here? Like, do you see where we live? And he was like, bro, he was like, I don't even live here. He was like, I came to visit my boy. He was like, and you know, when I don't feel comfortable going in a place that I don't know, he was like, I just carry my shit. And he's like, okay, but be fucking smart about it, because it's true. Like, granted, like, I'm okay. Like, and again, the reason why I say like, you know, in the beginning when I was like, you know, even if I didn't want to call the cops, because after I realized that, you know, it was a misunderstanding, I kind of felt bad that I called the cops. But still, at the end of the day, bro, I'm not thinking about that. At the end of the day, I'm thinking about how I'm in a fucking hallway with a man that's like a few feet behind me who has a gun in his right hand that just went off. I'm not thinking to myself, oh, gee, it was by accident. No, I'm thinking to myself, bro, he's trying to fucking either A, rob me and then kill me, or B, kidnap me. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm not thinking to myself. And on top of that, it was at night. So the hallways are dark. Like, there's like, bro, I was not thinking about that shit being a misunderstanding at all. That's definitely not what was going through my mind. And then on top of that, like, even if he, you know, didn't intend to like harm me, right? Put it this way. I'm now a witness. I know what this man looks like. In detail, I can explain what this man looks like. So even if he wasn't trying to do nothing malicious towards me, I know that he's the guy whose gun just went off. I can give a full description. So off the strength of that, he could have wanted to kill me. Off the strength of me just knowing how he looks like, I'm a witness now. I know too much. You get my point? So off the strength of that, he could have just killed me. So I'm not thinking in my mind like, oh, this was a misunderstanding, or, oh, I shouldn't. No. Like, no. Hell no. Like, I'm running down that hallway. I'm screaming for help. Motherfuckers gonna know what the fuck is going on right now. That's what I'm thinking. And so pretty much, you know, after G was just like done grilling him or whatever, you know, we pretty much just let it go or whatever. We let it go as a misunderstanding, and that was that. And so, but keep in mind, while all of this is going on, while we're having a conversation with him, I'm still on the phone with the 911 operator, right? And so she's G's over here like, hang up the phone or whatever. He was like that's it, like we already dealt with it, right? So then I'm telling the 911 operator, like, I'm sorry, ma'am, like, it's just a misunderstanding. I was like, don't worry about it, like, we're good, right? So too late for that shit. Once you're on the phone, once you say you know what just happened, you can't come back from that. Just like how once you shoot a gun, make sure you mean it. Make sure that once you pull that trigger is because you mean it. Because once you do it, ain't no coming back from that. The same as when you're calling 911. It's the same thing. Once you call, once you like tell them what's going on, once you give a description, once you give out your name, once you give out where you live, it's over. They already know everything. They already have the information that's needed and they're headed towards you. Simple as that, right? And granted, I wasn't technically too bothered by that because I intentionally wanted that at first, right? So obviously, like, I wasn't upset that, the cops were coming or anything like that, because intentionally, again, I didn't take it in as a misunderstanding. At first, I took it in as someone fucking almost killed me, right? So, and that's another thing. I remember how I just brought up the point about how, like, even if he wasn't trying to maliciously, like, do anything to me, but I could have been a witness and he could have just come me off the strength of that, he could have just come me by accident too. Had he had the gun, because he had the gun in a certain position where it went through his boxers and ricocheted off the side of the wall, because of the way he had it, that's another reason why it didn't hit me. That's another reason. But had he accidentally pulled the trigger in an upright position towards my direction, he could have accidentally killed me that way. So again, he had, like, bro, you can't be a scary ass motherfucker out here carrying, bro. And you also can't be a careless ass motherfucker carrying some shit. You gotta be smart about it, because you could kill someone accidentally. Off the strength of just being fucking stupid and not having a safety on that shit. So anyway, pretty much, I'm a bad liar. I can't lie. So obviously, by me telling the 911 operator there's a misunderstanding and G's over here telling me to just hang up, I can't just hang up because I don't have it in me to just do that. Like, number one, I'm a bad liar. Number one, she's asking me, like, what do you mean it's a misunderstanding? I'm not about to tell her the guy that just shot the gun came to my door, and I'm not about to tell her that either, but I also can't lie. So G takes the phone and he's like, hey, it's just a misunderstanding and da-da-da-da and this and the third. And so, just forget about it. And again, she's asking him questions or whatever. He just hangs up on her, right? So we thought that was the end of it, right? You would have thought that was the end of it. But no. There's just more to the story. So, first things first, before anything, I do want to let you guys know, right? And this is actually a very important thing for you guys to know, okay? Just in case if you are in a real danger, okay? This is very informational. So, ladies and gentlemen too, like, this goes for guys and girls, right? If you ever find yourself in a position where you are in danger, right? Whether you're being kept hostage, whether you've been kidnapped, or you're in a situation that you can't get out of. It doesn't matter what it is, right? If you call 911, right, and let's say the call lasts under a minute, they can still ping the tower of where your call is coming from. Okay, so even if the call lasts under a minute, and let's say like the phone hangs up for whatever reason, right, and you lose connection with 911, they can still pinpoint the towers of where that phone call is coming from. So it gives the cops a 10-mile radius of where that phone call came from. It doesn't give them the exact location, but it at least gives them a 10-mile radius. So that's really good to know, because if you ever do find yourself in a situation where you're in trouble, just keep that in mind, okay? So there's that, right? Now, another thing that I want you guys to know, if the phone call lasts a minute or more, they can pinpoint your exact location. All right. So like literally your exact location. So keep that in mind, especially ladies too, because y'all know this world is full of sick ass people. And if you ever find yourself in that situation, you don't even have to talk on the phone, because like, let's say if you're being kidnapped, right? And like, you can't really like give out information because your kidnapper will hear you or whatever the case may be. Again, if you call 911, they can pinpoint, if it lasts under a minute, they can pinpoint the tower of a 10-mile radius of where your call came from. If it's a minute or more, they can pinpoint the exact location. Remember that, okay? And again, correct me if I'm wrong. Last time I checked, that's how it is. But if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I don't know if it's been updated or if it's changed, but last time I checked, that's how it works. So anyway, but again, the cops already knew where I lived, because remember when I first called the 911 operator, I gave her my address, I gave her my apartment number, I gave her all of that, right? So it's crazy how, right, after G hung up on the 911 operator, I got a call to my phone. And it didn't dawn on me until like moments later after it happened. Or honestly, not even the same day. Or maybe, I don't know, moments later after it happened, it didn't dawn on me just right then and there. But I got a call, right? And it was definitely a Georgia area code number. And I answered it. And I was like, hello? Hello? Like I kept on saying hello. And nobody was answering me. So I'm like, okay, like that's weird, right? Like what the fuck? So then I ended up just hanging up the call. And I want to say maybe like 3 minutes later, I got a knock at my door. And it was the cops. So me and G go to the door. We open the door and we tell them like, yes, it was me. He asked me a couple of questions, yada, yada, yada. And then he goes about his day, right? He's like, all right. He was like, just go back into your apartment. He's like, stay safe. He was like, we're just going to patrol the hallways and, see what's up. That's pretty much what they said. So I was like, all right, sounds good. So we get back into the apartment or whatever. And now everything is done. So I could breathe or whatever. Well, I could breathe, but I promise you, I could not sleep that night. I literally could not sleep that night. I dead ass stood up the whole night because I couldn't believe that I was that close to death. I couldn't believe that I was that close in proximity to a gun going off in that circumstance. Remember what I talked about circumstance, right? It's not the actual thing that scares me. It's the circumstance that scares me. So I couldn't sleep that night, y'all. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy. And yeah, so pretty much like a couple days went by and, everything kind of went back to normal. And then like, again, moments later, like I realized as I was awake at night, I realized that phone call that I got, right, where like nobody was answering me, was the call box at my apartment complex. So remember, you can't come into my apartment complex unless you get buzzed in. So when you go to the call box and you look, and again, the cops know my name, right? All they have to do is go to the call box, look at my last name because I provided that information, and pretty much call my phone. Well, call the, do it. Pretty much like call from the callbacks and it sends like a phone call to my phone and I got to press a certain number and let somebody in. That's pretty much how it works. So that's what that was. But I didn't think about, I wasn't like, it wasn't comprehended with me at that point in time when it happened, which again, like makes me think, how the hell did the cops, I don't know, whatever. So they probably like got in contact with the security guard that patrols at night. But yo, shit was crazy. And I just want to say I'm grateful to have my life, y'all. I'm grateful to still be here with y'all. I'm grateful in so many different ways. I'm also grateful that I was able to drop this video for y'all, okay? Your girl is back at it like a crack addict. So just know that I'm not going anywhere, okay? I went away for a little while, you feel me? But that's only because I had to recover. But I'm fully recovered. I mean, not really fully recovered because I still have pain here and there. But, I'm getting there. So I'm cool. I'm chilling. Everything's Gucci, all right? So I'm back at it, all right? So I need you guys to do one thing for me, okay? One thing, actually 3 things that's going to make me feel better. I need you guys to do this for me, okay? Number one, I need you to press that subscribe button like you was pressed for that stimulus check that took you so long to get, okay? All right? And I need you to tap on that notification bell like you tapping that ass so that you don't miss any of this lit content, all right? And last but not least, I need you to click on that like button right now if you picking up what I'm putting down, if you fuck with your girl. All right, you guys, thank you so much for coming back once again to Sincerely Ashley F. Kings, queens, gods, goddesses. Oh my God, you have no idea how much I miss saying that to y'all. Thank you so much for coming back and watching me. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.